Hi everybody, in today's video I got a request from a subscriber on making a video on how to file your nails into a nail shape. So as you can see here, I always have my nails filed into an almond shape. I wish that I was able to do square, but that just doesn't work for me. So I want to just do a little bit of that to show you guys. So some of the things I use, I just want to talk about. So this is the file I use. I got it off Amazon. It's just a crystal file. I think they come in a 3-pack. This is the only type of file I really put on my nails anymore. Every once in a while I'll use an emery board like in an emergency, but for the most part it's a crystal file all the time. This is really old, but I also use one of these, which is sort of like a buffer. It's a 4-way colossal buffer. I usually get these at the dollar store. I never use this file nail edge, but I always use the remove ridges when I have like peelies, or sometimes I get like ridges on my nails. I'll do it just a little bit. If you do too much, you can go too far and damage your nail with that, but they're not super bad to use. I never use the smooth surface or the super shine. I'm not sure what those do to your nails, to be honest with you, as far as damage goes. But this is pretty much the one part of it that I do happen to use when I do get peelies and stuff. So those are always, you can always pick those up at the dollar store or Sally's. And sometimes if I have a really bad break, I'll use clippers. But for the most part, I try to stick to filing of my nails and not even clip at all. I mean, if I have a break way down here, then yes, I'll clip them all down. But if I don't have a break that low and it's, you know, pretty easy to even out, I will just use the file. So my first tip on shaping your nails is to leave your polish on when you're going to be filing into a shape. Because for me, this sort of helps me get a better gauge of the look I want on my nails. This really helps me gauge like how the shaping is turning out, because you can really see. I think when my nails are unpainted, it's really hard for me and I'll end up with a lot of like really strange edges and things like that. So that's pretty much it. So like right now I have this older manicure on. I'm gonna leave it on and do a filing into the shape. So I don't have too much going on here. I don't have any breaks or anything like that, but maybe every like third manicure I just like to like reshape everything, take down some length a little bit, make sure all my nails are sort of like similar length. And so that's my number one tip. I don't know how this is gonna sound on camera, but I just kind of come in on the edge here and do, you know, take down the sides a little bit, and then I go to the other side and do something sort of similar. And then since I like the almond shape, I really focus on filing these sides down, and then this stays sort of rounded. So that's kind of just what I do, is I go back and forth along the sides until I kind of get what I'm going for, like with the almondness. And then if I do want to take down a little bit of length, I just usually kind of go across the top just a tiny bit. I really like my length, but you know, sometimes you got to go down a little and do that. So like this thumb, some of my nails seem like they grow faster than others. I don't know if that's even true, but like my thumb seems really long compared to a few of my other nails. So I will take down a little bit of length on this sometimes. And I just kind of try to file like in one direction. So you can see I'm kind of pulling back with the file only. Then I do kind of do a little bit of like a saw motion, just a tiny bit, but for the most part I try to stick to like a one direction type of thing. Even on the top, just kind of like pull it all back, and that's it there. And then like I just, you know, take a little break here, remove the filing, you know, like the nail or whatever, the powder that comes off your nail, and then I just kind of assess what I think about the shape. And then I move on to the next nail. So this is another nail that seems to get kind of long compared to the other ones. And same thing here. I just kind of do the one direction thing. This nail actually grows really nicely for me into the shape I like. Some of my other nails I have to do a little bit more shaping than this one. But same thing, I just kind of do a one direction thing here. And then I kind of pull back and just see if that is how I want my nail to look. So I think on this one, this side needs to come just a tiny bit. A tiny bit like more in. And so I think that looks good. So these two nails of mine grow kind of wonky shaped. This one you can even kind of see has like a little bit of a, like it wants to grow out a little bit flared. So what I do for that is I really focus in on this side that wants to flare and really like take that in to kind of take that flariness out. It doesn't totally do it, but it does help. There used to be some tutorials online from a girl named Loodie, I think. And she was like the nail shaping guru, especially if you had a lot of like wonky shaped nails. She would kind of show you how to file your nails in a way to kind of like take attention away from it. So if she still has her things online, because I know her blog, she doesn't write on it anymore, but if those are still available, I will link them down below for you guys. She has a lot of really good filing tips, like on sealing the nail plate and things like that. So with this nail, I'm just kind of trying to, like I tell you guys, take a little bit of that wonky shape away, which is on this side. And then I just kind of measure it against the nail next to it for length, and that looks pretty even. Then on this nails here, I tend to kind of have where this side wants to grow like out thicker than this side. So I really focus again on this side of the nail to really bring it in as much as I can. And you can see there like how it has just a little bit of a wideness to it that my other nails don't have. And it's the same on both fingers, on both hands for me. And then I just kind of, you know, pull away and assess what I've been doing. And come back in where I feel like I need to, you know, make some changes. And I really just try to kind of get that almond look going on the nail. So all of those look fairly even size-wise. And then the pinkies, my pinkies usually grow in really nice, so I don't have to do too much shaping to those, usually. And this is another one of my nails where like it gets a lot of length compared to some of the other ones. Like I say, I don't know if they grow in at different rates or what's the deal, or it's just an illusion or what, but I always usually take down length on my pinkies and my thumb. So that looks pretty nice and even there lengthwise. So here I feel like I did a little bit too much on this edge, so I'm just gonna kind of take it down on one side a tiny bit. Sometimes it's nice to look at it from the under angle and you can kind of see a little bit too of where things are going wrong. So that's that, and then I'm going to move on to my other hand. And when I go on to my other hand, I do tend to do this just a tiny bit to measure, you know, is everything kind of the same length compared to the other hand. So you can see here like this nail seems a little bit longer than this nail, but I did have a break on this one, and so it's not a super big noticeable difference, so I leave it. If it's a really big noticeable difference, I file everything down because I just can't take it. It really like my control freak does not allow me to have different length nails. I wished it did because I know some people do it and I think it's fine, but for me personally it just really does drive me kind of crazy, especially on the same hand. I think on different hands, you know, it might not be so bad, but that is something that kind of so you can see here I left like a little bit too much on one side, so I'm just kind of taking down, and I think the polish just really helps you see that. So these two nails on this hand also have like the wonkiness issue. You can see here how this one sort of wants to flare out a little bit, so I really focus on that flare out side and just taking it in. And then this sort of lost its almondy shape, so I'm going to just try and bring that almondy shape back. So I go in on one side and just take down like the edge of the nail wall. Then I go in on the other side and take down the edge of the other side's nail wall. And then towards the top, I just kind of try to make that point. Then I just clean it up and kind of look. So I still feel like it's wanting to come a little bit to this side, so I'm gonna come across here. And that's a little better. And then on this nail, you can see how this side sort of wants to pull to that end. So again, I just come into that side and really take it down to where I want it. And then the other side, I give it a little, you know, a little bit just to bring it in for the shape. I feel like nail shaping took me so long to kind of get to where I wanted. Especially when I first got into nails, I would just be like, man, I could not get it. But once I started doing it with the polish on, I just feel like that was a major game changer. And then just a lot of practice, you know, and then once your nail kind of gets into the shape you want, you just kind of got to maintain it unless you have a big break. So you can see here how like this nail wants to pull into this side to this side a tiny bit. So I'm going to sort of even out this side of it. And again, just like try and keep shaping maybe every third manicure. That's what I do. I try to just go in and look for what I don't like depends how long I paint, but usually every third manicure I do this just to kind of keep everything looking fresh and clean up any like hangnail ends and things like that. I also keep a mini crystal file in my purse, like at work and stuff, and if I have a break, I'll file right away. That way it doesn't get like even worse. So that's another kind of thing I do there. So you can see here how this still has like a little bit more roundedness on this end. So I'm just going to come up a little higher and kind of take that down. Okay, so then I just kind of do this. So I know these two nails are going to be off on length just because this one had a mini break. These two look pretty even to me. Those two look pretty even and those two look pretty even. So that's what I do there. Then after I do that, I now remove my polish. So let's do that. So for polish removing, I just buy this at Walmart. It's professional nail polish, 100% pure acetone. I don't use any like acetone additive. I've tried it in the past. It is nice. It's not my thing. And I just kind of, I use cotton balls. I do want to maybe get into felt because I know some people do that and it seems like it would be less wasteful. If any of you guys use felt, let me know what you do to like clean it between polish removals, because I would be interested in that. If I had on a glitter polish, I would use my Bliss Kiss clips because that makes glitter removal a lot easier. So if you guys don't like glitter removing, I would definitely look into those clips. I think those were just same thing, like another game changer. Carolina and Ebony and Amy were like, you need the clips. So I went and bought them at Walmart and I was like, oh, thank you guys for recommending them. I think Amy Sue also was like, get the clips. So I got them. This polish isn't a stainer, which is nice. This is Painted Polishes Keeping It Krill that I picked up for Black Friday. Sometimes blues like this can like really stain your nails a lot. So I'm going to finish removing on both hands and then I will be right back. So all my polish is removed. I do have a couple of nails that have a peely. This is one of them. I don't know if you can see it, but like way up here I have some nail peelage. So what I do is I use the number 2 side of the remove ridges of this buffer, and then I just kind of like go down on the edge of the nail to kind of keep the to kind of like file down the edge of the nail so that it's not rough, in case the file happened to have left it rough. And I'm not doing this very hard, and I'm not, you know, really focusing in on actually buffing and removing ridges. I'm just kind of hitting the edge of the nail. These are the nails that don't have any peeling or anything. So then this one has the peel on it. So what I really do here is I really get in on that edge and just buff that peel in the best I can, so that it doesn't show through the polish, and I'm kind of hoping that eventually it just kind of fades off and doesn't break. So this one's kind of a little bit of a it's a little bit of a rough one, so this tip could actually break off at some point, but I'm hoping it doesn't. So I just really get in there and just buff around where it's broken, or not broken but peeled, and I really get in around that just to kind of seal that off a little bit. And then that's the only peel I have on this hand, so I just kind of same thing, just hit the edge a little bit, coming down towards the edge of the nail like that, so that you kind of seal the nail end a little bit. And same thing here, just sealing the edge of the nail just a tiny bit. This is another good time, like if you notice you have a little bit of like overgrowth there where like the skin meets the nail, sometimes I'll just kind of file that down because I don't cut it unless it turns to hangnail. And that seems to kind of help that. So then I go into the other hand and do the same thing. So this nail also has a peely, and so I'll kind of hit that one just a little harder where the peel is, so that hopefully it like fades into the nail. And then after this is when I usually put on my cuticle remover, so I'll show you guys that, and then I'll just show you up until where I oil so that you can just kind of see. So I'm going to switch out this really nice clean towel for this sort of ratty towel, just so that, just because I'm going to put the remover on and it's really messy. So I use Blue Cross Cuticle Remover. This is really watery, but what I do is I usually pour it in the palm of my hand and then just kind of dunk my cuticles into it. I feel like this gets rid of a lot more dead skin than like the Sally Hansen that I was using, the gel one. So I do prefer this. And then also when I do pedicures in the summer, I'll put some of this in the water that I soak my feet in, and it does help remove some of the dry skin while you soak in it around your cuticles and other parts of your, you know, feet. So I just really work this into the cuticles. I keep adding some as needed to the palm of my hand and just kind of rub it in. I usually use a red stick, but I don't even know where that is, to be honest with you. But you can just, I always just kind of push back with my other nail and like kind of scrape around, and that seems to do it when I don't have a red stick. But If you use the red stick or your nail, just be careful, don't be rough, so that you don't tear the cuticle skin. I never really cut around my cuticles unless I have like a big chunk of skin that needs to be cut off. I don't usually cut because I notice when you cut that it seems like it grows back like a little bit more dry, or like it's just more intense. I don't know. I feel like pushing around works better than cutting. So I'm just gonna do that around all the nails. You can see, I know it's nasty, but I'm getting a lot of dead skin. And I do this, I don't paint my nails every day. If I did paint my nails every day, I would not cuticle remove every day just because that's kind of harsh. But since I only do my nails maybe every 3 days, I cuticle remove every 3 days. So that just kind of depends. If it seems like you're really drying your skin out, I would look at possibly not cuticle removing every time and just really moisturizing and pushing back when you moisturize instead. But that's completely up to you. And then I have a lot of blue left on my skin from this polish. So next thing I'm gonna do is wash my hands. I'll be right back. Okay, and then again, just very gently, this is where I take this part of the clipper out and I just clean under my nail, because all that cuticle remover, you will get some dead skin out from under there. And I know some people actually grow some skin here that does need to be removed, or like parts of their cuticle sort of thing. So I just kind of do that and get out any, you know, dead skin or whatever is going on under there. And again, just be really gentle, because you don't want to cut yourself, or, you know, have areas where you can like give yourself an infection if it gets infected. Then the next thing I do is I get my California Mango cuticle oil and I oil my cuticles. And I just kind of like do a little dab right around the cuticle area. And then I really work it into the nail. Like make sure it gets on the nail and it gets massaged into the nail, because this adds some moisture. Nails are dead, but they do absorb, you know, some little bits of moisture. It is sort of like conditioner. Conditioner really can't restore your hair, but it like puts like a protective barrier on it, because, you know, your hair and your nails are dead. But then I come and do the other hand, same thing. And then I leave my oil on when I go to paint. So I let this sit for a minute and I work it into my hands, because my hands get kind of dried out from that blue cross, but I work it into my hands really nicely. And I just let that sit for a little bit. But then from here, like after this step is done, I don't cleanse my nail anymore. I don't put, you know, acetone to take the oil off or anything. I go straight into base coat, and I use Orly Nail Defense. I go straight into base coat and then I paint on top. And it hasn't affected wear time at all, or given me chips, or caused any problems with my manicures at all. The only thing I have noticed with it is that it does kind of help my nails grow. I feel like this extra oiling moisture does make my nails stronger. So that is it for this video, you guys. I hope you found that helpful. My nails were not in need of like desperate shaping, so my number one tip is shape with polish on the nail. I just think it's so helpful, because you can actually really see what you're doing, and go slow, you know, especially if you're trying to do like something square or oval. You know, hit the sides slowly. It's easier to take down slowly. If you really hit it hard and then like you completely mess up one side, you're kind of, you know, then trying to match the other side. Like just go really slow. These crystal files do take a lot of nail off kind of quickly. So, you know, be slow with it. Take your time, especially if you're really trying to get a nail shape for the first time. Patience and slowness is kind of key, and really like, you know, do a couple swipes and then, you know, kind of come back and just look at your nail. Like, is this what I'm wanting or not? instead of just, you know, going, and then you're like, I did too much. Those are my those are my main tips as far as this goes. So if you have any more questions, leave them in the comments down below. And like I say, I just hope that was helpful for you guys. I will try and link the information from Loodie down below, and information on the crystal file. My nail clippers that I do use are from Trim. I really do enjoy this brand. And then this is just a cheap dollar store buffer, so you can find those at, you know, pretty much anywhere. So that's it. If you like this video, please make sure to click the like button down below. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do. And thanks guys for watching. I will see you on the next video. I hope you're having an amazing evening. Bye.